Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So we're going to get right into it today, and I am going to talk about Vermilion Snapper fishing. I do not like the chicken rig. I do not like chicken rigs. I absolutely despise them for Vermilion Snapper fishing only. Okay? And small yellow eyes. Now, if I'm fishing for big yellow eyes and I'm fishing for big queens and snowy groupers, golden tilefish, the chicken rigs are fine, okay, for me. I'm comfortable with that. But when I'm in there targeting vermies, I can't stand using chicken rigs. So the story goes is I'm out there, had a couple clients, and we come through the spot with, the 3 chicken rigs, and I had one rig with 3 hooks, one rig with 5. And, we come through, we catch a couple on one rod that were like 14 inches. And the next rod we catch, a 1 out of like one that was, I think was maybe 15 inches on another one that had like 5 hooks on it. The rest of them got the bait stolen. It's like, that's so annoying. I just cannot stand that. Anyways, so that's just me. Everybody has their own annoyances, and I just want to let you guys know that I'm all right with telling you guys, because I don't really care. I'm just like, there is nothing to hide here on my end. Chicken rigs annoy me. So I was getting ready to make another pass, and the guy looks at me, he goes, "You know what? I really hate fishing with these chicken rigs. Can I go back to one line?" I was like, "Yeah, man, no problem. There's probably some, there's probably some muttons here, so let's see what happens." So I'll just put a smaller 5/0 hook, and do you mind catching the vermilions? He goes, "Absolutely not. As long as I can just use one line, I'm totally cool with it. I just don't like these chicken rigs either." And I was like, wow, okay, well finally somebody is like, I'm on the same page. So what I did was, for that guy, I gave him like a 50-foot leader, small hook. I think it was a 5/0 Gamakatsu, and I put a little piece of squid on there. And then on the next rod, I just said to the guys, let's just keep your chicken rig on, and then, we'll just kind of diversify a little bit and see what happens. So I come through, and 0 bites on the chicken rig this time. Not even a bite. And the other guy's rod that has a long 50-foot leader with the small 5/0 circle gets bent over. And I was like, wow, man, that's probably a nice 23-inch mutton. Pull it up, thing starts floating. I look back there, and I was like, jumbo Vermilion Snapper, 21 inches, 22 inches. Really big fish for a vermi. I was like, wow. Okay, so I was like, well, this is cool. So there's one big one that's equal to 2 of the ones that we got in the cooler already. So I was like, okay, maybe it was a fluke. So I come back again, 0 bites on the chicken rig. Boom, long leader goes off. We catch another jumbo vermi. Next pass, I was like, I left the chicken rig on, come through, we catch another jumbo on the long. And then it happens again, and I was like, finally, I changed them both out. Next thing we know, each angler has a limit of big, giant Vermilion Snappers, one at a time, that were equivalent to the meat on these big ones were awesome, and they were the meat on a bigger vermi tastes so much better than a small vermilion. I think the small vermilions get soft. They have a little bit more of a fishy taste to it compared to a really jumbo big Vermilion Snapper. And I was like, I never looked back since. Okay, so guys, Vermilion Snapper fishing can be really tricky, and we all get into that lust to catch as many fish as we can on those chicken rigs. But I got to tell you, if you guys really want to do some damage and catch some big jumbo Vermilion Snappers, go one at a time. And a lot of people are like, we're not believers, so they come fish with me. Then they started sending me pictures that they're doing it in Miami on their own boats, while other guys are chicken rigging. They're going one at a time, and with that, big yellow eyes. There you go. They're there too. They're picky. These fish don't like Christmas trees down there dangling, okay, with all the light bulbs and shit all over it. And not to mention, you guys that really understand mutton fishing get it. When you start dropping chicken rigs to the bottom on a mutton spot where there's big jumbos and those fish have been pressured, you guys are screwing yourselves, man. I see them coming across with like 100-pound leaders and like doing all this shit. I was like, don't worry, man. These guys aren't going to catch shit. We're just going to keep coming through here and doing it. And that's what we did. And the guys were like, you could see the charter boat guys on the binoculars looking at you and like trying to figure out what you're doing. And so here it is. This is what we're doing. We're going at it one at a time. We're leaving the chicken rigs off. We're not getting sharked as much. And when you like hook up a bunch of small ass fish, you're gonna get you're bringing in the cudas, you're bringing in the sharks, all that action. Okay. So, not to mention, we're no longer reeling and pumping on these fish either. Now, reeling and pumping and going as fast as you can, you're actually hurting yourself more than what you're thinking because you're spinning the fish and turning that fish into a lure. Okay. My best advice to you guys is to like do what we're doing. We leave the rods in the holder. We keep moving forward. We bring the fish up nice and fast. We try not to get him to spin. When he spins, he turns into a lure. And when he spins, he bleeds. Okay? And he puts out a lot more vibration. So there you go. Vermilion snappers you guys that fish them enough know that they get really picky, and when they shut off, but they don't really shut off. You just got to go longer leaders and you're going to catch them. You don't believe me? Try it for yourself. Like I've converted 100 other guys to do it that listen to this podcast that are doing it and doing it big. Okay? It's just like fishing for big queens. You can come over a spot, mark a bunch of queens, but they don't bite. But if you use one of those spreader bars with the weight, and you can just approach it like you're sword fishing and like you're mutton fishing. Have a long 50-foot leader. Do one at a time. Come over the top of them. Catch your big queen. There you go. So when they quit biting, they don't necessarily quit biting. They just don't want to see that damn chicken rig up and down in the air. So come at them with a long leader. It'll change your day. So same goes with gray tiles. They bite the same. You come at them with a longer 50-foot leader on the bottom. So there's tricks to doing it, and you don't tangle if you got the right shit and you're doing it with the right barrel swivels and the right line, and you're not going to tangle with one line, and you're going to catch them. So it's better than like, oh, they're not biting today. And for you guys that are fishing for queens, my average size leader that I use when I fish them in high pressured areas, I'm using 40-pound leader. Those fish can see down there. I don't know what the hell you guys are like. How do you think they eat? They can see down there, and they're getting heavily pressured now, and you got to come at them a little bit different. For Vermilion snappers, I'm using on high pressure spots. I'm using 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. They can really see, so you want to lighten things up. Don't just quit and drive off. I mean, you're out there to catch fish. Challenge yourself a little bit. Do something different. That's how you get better, and that's how the guys that listen to this podcast are doing it. They're catching them, and they're catching big. They're showing me the pictures of the fish that they catch and using one. So I'm happy for them. That's what this podcast is for, to help them get better. But so there you go. One at a time. Baits, I don't know. Squid, snakehead. Snakehead works really well. So that's a great bait. Just saying, it's oily and nasty. That's a good bait. It's a good bait for yellowtail snappers. So I think I talked about that in my last podcast too. So if you're using squid, you want to make sure that you brine it really good prior. I like to set it out the night before. I leave it in the cooler, a little bit of ice. I let it slow thaw. I like this squid to like regain its natural color. So basically it's flash frozen, but I like the squid, the color to come back. I want the smell to come back. I don't like to just take it out of the bag, thaw it, and use it. I just don't get the best results that way. So I do like to let it slowly thaw overnight, let the color come back. It'll get all those nice colorations back to the squid, and then send it down. I catch a lot of big mutton snappers on squid, man. A lot. I think it's a highly overlooked bait, but the guys that fish with me know about the big mutton snappers that I catch with squid. It's so, and you guys can see it on a couple land shark videos. I think there was a land shark video we put on there where they weren't really biting good. I put on a big jumbo squid and we caught it. Also, too, they like those octopus tentacles as well for you guys that are swords fishermen. Early in the year, I was out there and we were catching big muttons, and they were throwing up octopus tentacles, and then I was just recycling that. I'd pull the tentacle out of their mouth, and I'd just rehook it, come back through, and I'd catch them on the octopus tentacle. So just a little tip for you guys. Guys, those fish are like, one of the things I educate people on is that those fish can be opportunistic eaters, so they're not really too concerned about what they want to eat. And I can tell you time and time again, what I've used for bait, I would just shock you guys at what we've caught those fish on. So, but that's for another story and another time, because that's all the time I've got today. If you're looking to get involved with one of my fishing clubs, you can email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com. And we're just getting into wahoo season. Our first discussions are coming up here pretty soon. We've got the late season grouper bite, and that just started. So if you're looking to come on down, catch some grouper here over the next couple months with me, you can email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com. Make sure you book early for your fall wahoo fishing trips. Now, we're just not wahoo fishing for the day. We'll go and look for the muttons and the blacks and the reds and all that stuff. And if we do go Vermilion Snapper fishing, then we'll do that too. And I've opened up deep drop fishing for queens on days that it's doable. Days that it's doable. But the fishing along the edge of the reef is just going to start getting fired up, and I'm super stoked for the fall because I feel it's going to be really good. So just seeing some things out there right now, and I'm really happy with what I'm seeing, and as far as the transition goes. So anyways, that's all I got. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow me at goodkarmasportfishing_FL_keys on Instagram. You can check out my website, goodkarmasportfishing.com. And then, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.